Hello, this is Joe Glines, and this is going to be a quick review of how you can use SPSS macros to break out parse a variable that has a delimiter inside one variable. This used to be a lot more common with online vendor tools. I don't see it nearly as much anymore. They break them into different variables, but I do still see them when the data set is provided from like an Access database or some sort of a database when they export values. A lot of times they'll all be in one column, and so here you can see this pipe. It's a pipe delimited, so this is medical, then a pipe smart grid, blah blah blah, pipe industrial, pipe motor drive and control, pipe, right? And so of course there's a different number of pipes in each one, depending on this one there actually aren't any, and other ones have, I'm not sure how many, but I'm sure if you've run into this, you can understand the frustration and how annoying this is and how much time it can take to deal with. So, of course, macros to the rescue, right? And by the way, I'm using Cite here, but it's just going to submit the syntax to SPSS for me, just because I like the IntelliSense and I still like using version 13 of SPSS. So here, I'm not really going to get into the macro itself because, honestly, I wrote this a long time ago, and it was confusing. The summary, though, would be like, what variable are you looking at, what is the stem you want to create, and then what is the delimiter, right? Those are the three things that it'll ask you for when you actually call your macro. My macro name is called parse, and the variable is going to be training, right? And so in this case, because that's the name of my variable, is training. The stem, which will make sense in a second here, and you know, I'm going to drop this down to just t underscore. That's what will be at the beginning of every one of my new variables. So they'll have a number, t underscore, and a number. And the delimiter is, in this case, it's a pipe value. If it was a quote, you could change these to single quotes and put in a double quote there if you had to. But anyway, that's pretty much it. And with macros, you have to run it first and define it, which I've already done. But I will do this again just to show you. And this again says, oh, hey, your parse variable, your parse macro, it's already been defined. This one is going to take precedence because you've just called it, and now whatever it was before, now this is it. Right? I don't need this, so I'm going to close that. And my entire macro call here is just, again, it's saying, I run the parse macro, and for the variable, use training. The stem, I'm going to create the t underscore, that'll be the beginning, and use the delimiter. And so let me run this. And now you just saw blinked, right? And suddenly there are, in my macro, which I will point out, there are 25, right, up to 25, which I don't think anything. It looks like there's a 24. Wow, I'm glad I had 25. And the quick, easy way to do this is just sort here. Nope, nothing there. It looks like maybe there was only one that had 24, so I was actually okay with this with 24. But you'll notice one is my my macro call, right? It breaks them out. So here you'll see washing machine, programming logic, right? Washing machine, programmable logic controller, and such, right? It goes through all of them. If we look at the macro just a little bit, at least you'll see I basically create the stem and go through it. That's my dog. Sorry. And concatenate, computing the variables, and somewhere in here, 1 to 25, right? This is where it's coming up with the 25 for how many of these things I should create. I believe this also here was saying there's 25. I'm going to create 25 of them and whatnot. I have a second one here. I'm not going to get into it. Basically, I have a parse 5 because often there's basically a few things in here, and if you're dealing with a really large data set, creating 25 of blank variables is inefficient. And so I have a 5, I have a 3 that I didn't even put in here. But it's very quick and easy to use. And let's actually do something really crazy, right? Let me get rid of these. I think I've missed a couple. And I'll show you how simple it is to use and how simple it is to do something stupid as well. Because let's say I said the delimiter was actually, let's say it was a right paren, right? Now, when I call the macro, it's going to parse those which is not going to make sense. It's going to break them. Well, of course, it did in that one. But this, you know what I should have done? And I'm sorry. Let me go through and do something a little even stupider, because I love stupid. Go back in here, and I'm going to make this a P, and now I'm going to run it, and it's going to parse things on the letter P. And so the letter P will actually disappear wherever it was. So this is ump. So the P disappears because it takes the variable, the delimiter out, but it still parses on it. Anyway, that's how you can very quickly and easily use an SPSS macro to parse out a variable that has everything inside it. Thank you.